The Network for College Success supports schools in transforming to become environments where all students can get to and through high school and go on to college. NCS's work builds off of more than 20 years of research from the UChicago Consortium on School Research, which identifies ninth grade as a crucial fulcrum point.
We know that what happens to students in ninth grade is tremendously predictive of their end of high school outcomes.
NCS coaches work with school teams to develop success plans focused on ninth grade that are contextualized for their school environment and students. These plans take into account 4 big ideas or beliefs that all schools can begin to take action on to support freshman students. The first of these beliefs: big change is possible and sustainable. The Chicago Public Schools story stands as both an example and an inspiration. Since beginning to gather real-time data on ninth grade students 15 years ago, the district has experienced a significant boost in the percentage of freshmen passing their classes, which has led to unprecedented graduation rates. School and district leaders looking to replicate Chicago's success can start by asking and answering a few key questions to guide efforts.
What is the evidence around the problem that we're trying to solve? What is the evidence that we can influence it? And then what are we all going to commit to do differently to solve that problem? That kind of collaborative problem solving doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen over the course of a school year.
The second big idea is related to teachers' collective efficacy, or teamwork mentality that's vital to freshman success work. A simple way to state this belief is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Creating and supporting ninth grade teacher teams helps to build that collective efficacy. Teacher teams that believe they can do hard things together and that they will ultimately reach their goal are better able to persist through any setbacks. Key questions here are:
what's the level of trust on those teams? What is the level of collective efficacy on those teams? How well do those teachers trust one another? How well do they work together? Do they really believe that they are working on problems that they can solve together? And if not, what are the ways to build some of those beliefs?
Number 3, get to know the adolescent brain. While not a focus, in most teacher training programs, there's been a significant amount of research done over the past decade about the inner workings of the adolescent brain and how that translates into behavior. What we now know is that at this stage of brain development, executive functioning capacities can be limited. It's important to find ways to incorporate executive functioning scaffolding into the ninth grade experience, helping students see how point A connects to point B and how each step in the process is leading to an end goal. Another research finding: academic mindsets are highly malleable in ninth grade. They're also becoming increasingly fixed. So while, for example, we may think failing a test will motivate a student to try harder, in reality, the opposite tends to happen. A new story often develops in their brain about what kind of learner they are, one that says, "I'm not smart enough to succeed." This can cause the ninth grader to further withdraw, and a spiraling effect begins. Teachers can take steps to counteract these negative narratives.
You could think about your grading policy. That's work that a lot of folks do. You could also think just about the messaging you give students. You could think about the multiple opportunities that you give them to show mastery. You could think about the kinds of relationships that will help students overcome those hardships and try again because they believe that you are a teacher who really is invested in their success.
The fourth big idea is simple but powerful. Community accelerates growth. It's true that no two schools are exactly alike, but one thing most schools have in common is a dedicated, sustained commitment to problem solving for students.
Any school out there has the capacity to call a school down the street and say, "Are you struggling with this thing like we are? What are you doing? What's been beneficial to you?" Sometimes the most important thing we can do to start solving really thorny problems of practice is to build community with other people who are solving the same problems.
While these kinds of organic connections between schools can prove fruitful, intentional cross-school learning opportunities are a key part of NCS's National Freshman Success Institute. Teams participating in the Institute are supported in many other ways, such as connecting adolescent brain research to lesson planning and creating a clear, measurable definition for freshman success, if one hasn't already been established. Ongoing coaching engagements go deeper into data support and implementation of NCS's Freshman Success Framework. To learn more, visit ncs.uchicago.edu.